No More Newbie here. In this video I'm going to share with you 15 things to check before every upload. So it's going to be 15 tips to make sure that your Sharefactory videos uploaded to YouTube are going to be the best that they can be. So make sure you stay and watch all 15 tips and make sure you implement them on all of your videos. So let's not waste any time. Let's just get straight into tip number 1, which is fade in from the start of your video. So if your video just starts, it's really abrupt. So what you want to do is do a fade in. So what you want to do is push the cross button, go to add screenshot, go across to solid color, and then we've got this here. We just go to square and settings and we want to change this to black. Once you've done that, then you can push the cross button and add a transition. And then I always choose dissolves and crossfade, so I would recommend doing that. Once you've done that, push the square button, go to trim clip, and then bring the right stick all the way to the left so that it's as short as it can be, and there you can see a nice fade in, and that really does give a professional feel to all your videos, so I recommend that as number 1. Tip number 2 is to consider intros on your videos. Some people believe that intros are just something that's just wasting time and delaying the viewer getting to the content that they turned the video on to see. Other people see intros as something that allows them to show off their ability on the software that they're using. So it's totally up to you. If you are using intros, then just try not to have them be in any more than 4 or 5 seconds. Any longer than that, and a lot of people get put off by your video and may even turn off from there. Tip number 3 is to remove fluff from your video. So what I mean by this is watch through the whole of your video once it's completed and get rid of anything that isn't needed. So things like this loading screen, we don't need that there. Push the square button and delete. If your player is running around breaking down trees and buildings and there's no relevance to the story or to the game or anything like that, then just push square, delete it. A shorter video that's straight to the point and entertaining is better than a longer video that's got lots of bits laying around doing absolutely nothing or anything of interest. Tip number 4 is saturate. You can actually improve the quality of your screen or the quality of your video by pushing saturate. So if we push the cross button and go to add filter, go across to saturate, and that makes all of the colors a lot more vibrant. Now sometimes it's a bit more of a subtle difference, but you can see on here the colors are jumping out on you. They're much clearer, much more vibrant, and sometimes I think it really does make a difference to your gameplay, so I recommend doing that if you can. Tip number 5 is using transitions. If you find you've got screens and clips that are bouncing between different types and different styles, what you want to do is add a transition. So you see on this example here, I've got different screens and it just flicks from one to the other. What you want to do is add a transition by pushing the cross button, go to add transitions, and then you can use any of these that you want. I like to use the crossfade, but there's lots of choices, dissolves and all that, but if you watch it now, it blends nicely between the two and it leaves a much more professional feel, and I do think it does make a difference between a basic video and a more professional video. Tip number 6 is getting rid of placeholders. The amount of videos that I'm still seeing where there's placeholders on there like this, nobody needs to see it, and they're really easy to get rid of. So a placeholder is a clip that's been put in place by Sharefactory if there's something going beyond the video. So in this example, we've got music and a pip video that's on there. So what we want to do is make sure that any music or any track 2 or commentary ends before the video track ends. So we've got another bit here. This is a video that's we've put as a track 2, so we want to just delete it or move it. So we're going to edit track 2 for this example, and we can either delete it or we can move it. So we're going to move this, and as soon as you see that it ends before the video ends, then you'll see that the placeholder is removed. So don't have any videos with placeholders on. Tip number 7 is filters and layouts. Actually, Sharefactory has a reasonable amount of filters and layouts that I'm kind of giving you a few examples of here. So there's lots of different things. So if you're doing montages or various different things, do play about with the filters and the layouts. You can add some real interesting things on there. So the way you would add it is you go onto a clip you want, and then you push the cross button and add filter, and then you've got all these options here. Just go into there, play about, have a bit of an experiment with some of them, find which ones you like, but a lot of videos can be made much more interesting by having some of these variations in there if you want to. You can do exactly the same for layouts as well, and the layouts will change a little bit the way the screen looks. It doesn't have so many examples, so I'm running through a few of them here, like the vignettes and the cinema sort of screens. Not as many options, but again, if you add one or two in some of your videos, sometimes it does break it up and make it a little bit more interesting. The way you do that is on the clip, you push the cross button, go to add layout, and then these are your options here. So you don't have masses of options, but it can make it a little bit more interesting if you want to do that. You don't need to worry if you decide you don't like them. You can just go into edit layout or edit filter and delete the layout or the filter. So absolutely fine to play about with it. If you don't like it, then just delete it and go back to how it was before. Tip number 8 is adding a subscribe animation to your videos. Now, does take a little bit of work to start with, but you can see on the screen now we've got a subscribe animation. For YouTube, it's just a reminder to say if anyone's watching this and wants to see more, then do click the button to subscribe. I've got videos in the description below that's going to help you with things like this, so do check that out if you want to add it. Tip number 9 is using custom thumbnails. Still a lot of people are using thumbnails from gameplay, and it's really easy to set up custom thumbnails. So I've got lots that I've used. Mine aren't particularly amazing, but hopefully they get to the point and they give a good explanation of what the video is going to be about. And that's really important to get people clicking on your videos to have good thumbnails. Tip number 10 is the hook. At the beginning of every video, normally within the first 15 seconds, it's a really good idea to explain what your video is about. By doing this, it gives the viewer a confirmation that the video that they're expecting is the video they're going to get. So well worth considering in each of your videos, just explain exactly what it's going to be just for the first few seconds so that they know that they should hang around for more. Tip number 11 is comments. Try to encourage comments on your YouTube channel if you can, and the way you can encourage comments is by asking questions that are relevant to the gameplay that you've just been showing them. So do ask questions where you can. Tip number 12 is to make sure you use end screens on your video. So this is once your video is completed, you add a 20-second cinematic of some kind to the end of your video. So when you upload it to YouTube, you can then use YouTube tools to promote your videos even more. So there is a video in description to show you how to do that if you're not too sure, but I've just added this one here, and this is the one I use on all my videos, and I do recommend you using it because YouTube will help promote your videos if you use the end screens from there. So that leads us to tip number 13, which is link to the next video. So in the actual video, before you upload it, your commentary is saying, now you've seen that video, make sure you check out these other videos on screen or subscribe here. And that is a good commentary to link into other videos. And then number 14, like and subscribe. Once you've linked to those other videos, then do ask people to like and subscribe if they found the video useful. And I think this works really well because they'll have seen your video and they'll know whether they think it's worth a like or not. Final tip is tip number 15, which is volume. So go through all of your video, checking the gameplay, music and commentary videos. So make sure they are all as good as they can be and not cancelling each other out. So I hope you have found this useful. If you have, then do check out the videos on screen and comment below to let me know if you enjoyed it, and do like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks very much and bye.